responses no na amanfo ani agye ho popopo, especially me ko ka say nsanwe ne kro no boni mo ho no. I trended but we too no much see that issue of mass no Idi Amin Uganda otimne mama yansa ene nine edampa baako so former president me man na ya na mo ba na mo de comment eba no ya disuande na me kire mo maybe ka Idi Amin asem kra na mo bebre ya mo bebre de ya mo because Idi Amin no kra of Uganda no omutu na konya so 1988 and we were bebre winning Uganda. Idi Amin no Idi Amin was in 1988. Idi Amin maybe somewhere I think 1988 and I'm Museveni by Idi Amin the report even not report was a dube to call Rini Panam what kind the Entebbe raid book on be done the Entebbe raid Israel for no a buyer a beji or munipa free Uganda echo. So me kasa sebe me kasa hono. I'm matured, I'm seasoned, I'm responsible. Enti me kasa na wati. Nka Idi Amin ebia na wati na wasum keke. So when I kasa mapia Idi Amin a classical example. Then there is also another incident of Abacha, where it is alleged, let me use this proper word, it is alleged, so yes, na enso adansi or plane no ko India, to free Nigeria, ko India, no I call for girlfriends to Ediaba. I mean, look at this scenario. Donald Trump for crown no akora wo no na lupri, or no Trump, or no one na lupri kuran, obetu, ako man biso ako fa Miami no aba. Anatini bua or no one na lupri no, or no abetu, ako, these are some of the things in Africa. Now, so come on, Butu, Congo Kinshasa. Obia one in Belgium, your friend be Brussels. My call Brussels, my call Ako Babiana Brosano. Now Brosano, wow, America, no, but Trump Towers, no. I think will you call it New Jersey or New York? Yeah, New York. Trump Towers. The 10. Sana says Mubutu. Says Mubutu no kuta. Adanya to us what Trump Towers. Vagana had a mekase meka meet me be a Trump Towers in the bit. And I says to come Mubutu in the borders. One person. The BBA, a do baby ana country no de canoa. Or no to bo country no bosia. Se bia bosom we yen country adwai foka. Se se komo mutu otimi bo country no bosia. Na editua adwai foka. Sani Abacha na Nigeria sika bebra omunya nyina na de kotena na council. Sani Abacha at the time na Abacha we no sika wo Liechtenstein, no sika wo France, no sika wo Switzerland, no sika wo America. Billions of dollars. Sani Abacha, one African leader. Billions of dollars. Now, in fact, we read the Apollo Commission report now after the 1966 coup in Ghana. A lot of gold bars on the call Egypt. Gold bars on the command the Prime Minister of Egypt. NASA. Gold bars from Ghana. Gold bars from Ghana. In 1958, Ghana man Guinea 10 million pounds. 10 million pounds. In fact, 1958, 10 million pounds. No, that time, they bet my Ghana present budget. The present budget of Ghana. Ghana ma Guinea and Buzia spoke. Buzia cassette TI. Na our answer. So me kasa me kasa tia obi me kasa me chose Ghana 1958. I look up my kind Guinea kan and na adaya Ghana by NCC bibri with the resources of Ghana. No, so yakachi it's say yakachi. Na and that's also so no any hosa because in 1963 in 1963 Lewa you eba Ghana but Lewa you be sua na course Ghana no be mu ye no all kono o Ghana future no enya ibia 1963 Lewa you of Singapore and na Singapore adru na hwe na Ghana adru and hwe na Singapore adru na hwe na Ghana adru so debate na be say ye kwana say ebinim one wo mu achi Africa which way yes countries dey be to say Namibia countries be to say Botswana countries be to say South Africa no wo mu achi no mu achi in terms of per capita income but wo mu na no wo mu achi no ebinim atimi aba be wura ni Namibia be wura ni mu Botswana be wura ni mu South Africa ba be wura ni mu ama wo man wo mu wa ni mu pa no Ghana Ethiopia Nigeria Senegal Tanzania ene binum ka ho no wo makwachi e binum an wo mu wa chi en chere ye from the 1990s no wo mu wa chi pa but na 2025 wo ma be wura mu e bi ne Rwanda wo ma bo wo ho modena be wura mu ebi ni Cape Verde o ma bo ho modena be wura mu ebi ni Mauritius o ma bo ho modena be wura ni mu o mu ni Seychelles o ma bo modena be wura ni mu in fact African now no wo mo around 1900 at 1990s no ye ni se be wo achi be de be mada ben sorida no Cape Verde Seychelles Mauritius and woman abe fasoro no Seychelles, Cape Verde, Mauritius, Botswana, Namibia. For first 10-15 no there and now woman abe fa. Now woman we ni mu no so pa so there e hwane aba. Titiro south of the Sahara. Woman hwane aba fom. Aba na san. Die na si ye kono san. Na ya ma na san. And I am say. And the debate goes on. Ebinim say, ebinim cha say, soja bana ebe wura mu no. Ebinim say no. Ya wa Africa. Only be a soja bana ebe wura mu. Because you see, for Rwanda in 1995, na Rwanda 1996, na Rwanda. But now, you can 54 countries in Africa no. Adunum na wo abibrim no a wo makwane ye pa na na num Rwanda ka ho maybe Morocco maybe Tunisia na num 1999 oda ye say ye be yakonta ye kwa ye nya 1995 Rwanda na kwani ko Rwanda so Rwanda ye na no anda se ka twi ka sa na no anda Rwanda ye na no anda and the question yaro wondered. Eti dia soja bane no na civilians. You know, unto me ka say soja bane no na man no akodanim. No, because sa na ye beka dia ye mra Ghana. Soja bane a champion. Also free fan ko to kan dia o manche. But a champion soja bane ye koduru say. Jerry John Rawlings 81 to 2019 years. Yanko Babia, Yanko Shri. Just that you accept that discipline kakra, or my discipline, eba, manum kakra. Then some also will say, look, civilians in Yadia, and so Casaman on Yagin, because Nelson Mandela did well. Yeah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah the policies been by na kakra. So won't mean kasa civilians and women na enye. Won't mean kasa. Kofi Abrefa came out of some policies which were very good. No. Ajekum Kufuor came out of some policies which were very good. And Nana Obiri Boahen also came out of some policies which were Very good. So civilians and civilian the policies civilian buyer. In Nigeria, Nandi Azikiwe, a civilian came out with some policies. Na come. In Cote d'Ivoire, Hofia Bonnie at the policies be buy. Na come. In Senegal, Leopold Sango at the policies be buy. Na come. In Tanzania, Julius Nyerere at the policies be buy. Na come. In Ethiopia, Haile Selassie at the policies be buy. Na come. In Burkina Faso, and that Burkina Faso, Nandini and your friend Upper Vuta, Old Vuta, French, American Old Vuta, Upper Vuta. Pomo leader back Yamiogo, the policies be by Nayako. And in Guinea, Secretary, the policies be by Nay, but Kirosan, the policies be by Nay. Secretary, the policies be by Nay. Secretary the policies be by Nanya. Now let's take Guinea. Sani America, Guinea, Okwa, Ghana, ya Mochiri, and Ghana, ya Bre, ye better, far better than Guinea. Ghana were no much in Guinea. But this was a country, Secretary Odia from 1958 to 2000. What if I pay? Let's check 1958 to 2000. One person, 1958 to 2000. Secretary. Started come on, policies come on, after the Achille Basa. In Togo, so see, I can say Togo. From January 1967 to 20th April 2025. Papa Bako on an about Nadia Kunyano. January 1967 to 2025. Mama couldn't I know. May and Monia calculations. Papa Bako on an about Nadi 2 Swabity. Papa no 2 or 6. Nabano cry by a 9 chain or don't ban about 2 or 6 after today. Nabano about 2 6. And you know, in Togo, a good number of policy for near soldier for you now. Or move for president and ethnic group. In Rwanda, a good number of soldier for na policy for you now. Or move for president and ethnic group. In Cote d'Ivoire, a good number of the president soldier for na policy for or move for president and ethnic group. You call Liberia, Topman, Efrasia come. Topman, Efrasia come. Then Obekwa we, the policies in the BC, and to target so by, and also so young men. In Sierra Leone, Siaka Stevens, started no come. Siaka Stevens started no come. A Chileno, Siaka Stevens here near Mama. Pasa. I was a man now. Minkuta paint, minkuta paper. And so what we said, me don't namsa. In Tanzania, the Ujama policy, Julius Nyerere. It is a socialist policy. In fact, the Ujama policy not to say Cuba socialism for the Castro in Cuba socialism. But Julius Nyerere no actually I get to policies in there, yeah. Now so. Julius Nyerere about 70 years more Kwejuma president not bicycles. Not bicycles. But I know I get to me say the Ujama policies and Timiam way. It is an open no cast African which we are ampa exotia say ye ko benkum ana ye ko nifa. Ye ko benkum ana say ye ko nifa. Akwa ma ayese Sagana cry at the end of crying, I didn't feel and be a twapa, and the end of the a cry. But baby, we dear cry, was young Abacosama, Louis the 16th, or said L'État c'est moi, mine I am it, L'État c'est moi, Louis the 16th. South Africa no the leaders in Bibra later Simon man media call Rwanda now Pokagami why are there but it's later Simon waje man afa no so I'm bisa say bitimi hia Nyankopon no anka nsa na obebua me fo no ana obebua me bem maybe say Nyankopon nsemi because by 1990 na China 1990 na China and so in 2025 me hwɛ ne ekɔ no me metimi aka de necessity me bo pass enkɔ akikura by 2030 China be fa wiase nyina the rate of China developing and yes some keto metimi aka de necessity me bo say look minka 2040 or 2050 2040 or 2050 dey buwachi me just 2030 5 years China we are they say kura Donald Trump for taxes or kind China so China rate at which China is developing and the rate at which China is developing and China to me I am say we corrupter we minister we the owners we corrupter and one no wo yebekum look at an incident here as he was Singapore and say bus driver no come bus now okoye connection as $7 oh we are $7 oh we are $7 no the pension payer of $84,000 no state they say we forfeit $7 we forfeit $84,000 nanka yetimi ye bi wa Africa ha te se Ghana ha ye bia nka no ne se krono boy beba beberebesi ni pe wi abenkum ni nifa all over Africa we are suffering amafo we are with impunity and baby so aba be wi abeboa bi ni ma be wi beboa bi no e mama wi there's a French businessman Bolloré is running ports bebre lomi port onwa tema port onwa eyi port in be pray in West Africa. Then say case by court. One person on a run port. You know. So who tell me an opera? May raise it very idea and over quasoria. O are son them who have been home. Opa son so back been home. Over party have been home. Send the Americans Africa which way. Yeah, come say. Ebani sayinanka from 1950s to 1980, Ghana ni bi eko UK na ye visa free. From the 1950s to the 1980s, Nigeria ni bi eko UK visa free. From the 1950s to 1980, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Burkina Faso, or France a visa free. In fact, in around 1954-55, Nasa yawo Kurobiso or Dakar, for instance, Senegal, Dakar, St. Louis, Gore, yawo Senegal, Dakar, St. Louis, Gore, and every count. We have automatic French citizenship. Yawo Dakar. We have automatic French citizenship. So we have French passport. We have French citizenship in Paris. Abani say na we asese. Abani say nanka yawo Dakar, Senegal. Yawo Gore, Senegal. Na St. Louis, Senegal. So be wo hospital wa ngepe na o ma record na ye your passport wo France. We are French national, dual nationality. We are Senegalese, we are French. So that is the problem we are facing. Our resources. Now take a country like Ghana. Lithium, no money cars now, electricity, cars now, electricity, you're charging, battery, you're charging. The lithium there. A discovery of lithium was central region of Ghana. As a correct percentage of Ghana concerned. Ketuwe. Ketuwe. Kete 10%. The bilim so crash is at 12%. But other in 50%. But the boss said, yeah, the little boy is winning. Meanwhile, I said, make percentage in the yakes. And can unquabet to my developer central region. And unqua, etika, I don't think I got buying us or the Thomas Obisi airport or Kikus. And can compare another Australian company, no, or Baba Bay Lithium, no, or no woman can work at the conditions in the Binisa, Ubesi airport, or Kikus. You know, Sana Bolagatanga, a giant Kadna is a mining company, a giant mining company from Australia, or Maba Bolagatanga. Only gold deposit or power. So I don't think I want to amend the agreement and also you social or corporate responsibilities, you know. Bino, a bit better, Ubesi Mubaya Airport or Bolagatanga. I can't back crash or yeah about one because no ultimate left it. Right now, in African politicians, Ghanaian politicians, Debbie, oh, no. They are not planning of that. They are not thinking of that. I think I'm going to say NDC, a banker said that mind, you know, one day woman sat to Sokaka. Maybe no one may argue. Me no one may argue. Near Banner and saying that mine NDC will renew contract no more. No, many one may argue. Mamma too can renew. Mumma young tenants in a year. No one will be any moon so better than Siamaya. Mama yam 5 years at Tranco Baco to escape to be Macau. In fact, incident happened here. A killer pass over and a Chatuchicata. No, call ya Kaiser aluminium agreement. They did well. So far. Mumma Siam Machine and in your Mackin Canina. Wamupa Matisse from 6 March 1957 to today. Wama questions agreement pa. Badgana Ghana Humpa, a killer pasoya, and Chatuchicata. Tell John Rawlings Spencer. The multinationals in the creator said, be my babies, can be a bad man, Nana, baby, teeny is coming sign. But they refuse. They refuse a killer pasoya and Chatuchicata. So any time I bet we say me a killer pasoya and Chatuchicata. Other than the agreements in since then me mobia say we are a killer pasoya and Chatuchicata. So which way? African intellectuals. And then call UK. Coffee companies be on Muba Congo. In I trial. Companies in Ghana, as a company be back Ghana, Uncle Western region, Uncle CCC, bridges in Ghana. Actually, they were tried in UK. Obviously, what country I'm bribe? I'm an African politician. PNDC time. Omutia bribe. Kofi Komsen did the story in the Chronicle. The said, yeah, your politicians and a bribe. Yeah, try or move. UK, never try on, so what could you bribe? Foreign company. So, I don't know how be now so Nippon be Bramunim no. I get a better contractors about or free China or free India. One time to say contractors from America, contractors from Canada, and then Germany and UK. And yeah, because the African politicians contract the person sign on time mamun na ho. On person mu better ho fine. And in those countries in UK, USA, Canada, Belgium, France, Italy, Germany, and then the Kaka honing in Ano. Ubua be before Nkura Africa ha. Bebe Krum ho de betimi chotrawo. Anti fanchobo bi to so ne yente. Na yenye no, unhu se sa countries we no wo mo no be China de China, India, Malaysia, Koreans, and the Otimus or the Omo Ata. Sentinels of companies with our countries, we are my body in Bebrani Africa. because uba born kura born as I say we get 10 cities. Now the budget 20 or 30 cities are. Oko fee no, I don't know. You bet charge you. Because on my website, you know, Uba be stadium or Ghana, and so oko to Ube stadium or Ghana. Stadium now be seen to see. Stadium not to see. Uji sikasi. You must quote everything on your website. Ube ya kwanya. It's a now disclosure. Now, most of these countries, so US, UK, Canada, Belgium, France, Italy, Austria, Kumasi Tunkan. Company now we and Ubekrudini. Amantua, Yeji, Ubekene. Ghana ha. When we say yeah, Kwanibia, Yatra amount involved. Ghana, this country, Ghana. Yantra amount to crow, MPPO, NDCU. How we say be your contract abetwe company road diversion company we amount omonka da ye start omonka da ye be wi yenka omonka that explains Africa which way ye kwon say na no Arsenal ne Real Madrid party bakata so bakata party so party bakata so te say ode nkwane sigaso no de nkwaniti chance no ne tiakata so park bakata so the brasa for the Sahara when we say be betim bi o be kata so e bia be South Africa South Africa or possibly Botswana or Namibia na ya ka wan free ha dia kai the average African intellectual African politician so kolafia so sometimes people grab them to me to you moving for say we plain o canon pa oh sa na yepe but aya na wa hwe ho yi African politicians of course that is true African politicians African intellectuals omo pen no koreka bebre pen no koreka nka se omo nyina bebre pen no koreka enti bibia ni ha basa omo se be betran se bobo odini no Heli Salase no tema Nnamdi Azikiwe Kwame Nkrumah Kofi Abrefa Buzia name them. You go to Ofia Boni, Yamiogo, Leopold Senghor, name them. Julius Nyerere no, Seresekama, Botswana no. But look at Mugabe. Opportunity at Mugabe Nyans or say Zimbabwe. And the Zimbabwe is sacred, and yet the sitting president wants to contest again. I'm not contesting you. Or person or contesting you. What I say? When pana wait me, I guess a matter of principles and the resign African politician. And sometimes you even get to a level say, depending in our class way, where the enshamo, where the enshamo, on resign. Yes, sign. The man will not resign. The man will not be reshuffled. The man will not resign. The man will not be reshuffled. So, I'll come the next time. Africa. I'm a third part of Africa. So there is no sign say ye nije area. Mama mabi say no Burkina Faso. It's in the mining companies, you know. Burkina Faso percentage got 30%. Niger had the got 30%. Mali had the got 30%. You know. Ghana that time. Nigeria that time. Aya then nipa binum bi oye nipa, Niger ye nipa, Mali ye nipa, Burkina Faso ye nipa. But timia peja percentage in 30. Ghana see nipa. Other na yen de yen percent in fact 30. Near that so get 10%, 10%. How sad. Yes, what the one first nine Kumasi so koshe there be a Newmont a road diversion. A giant multinational Newmont American company, giant multinational. Newmont is working in Peru. Newmont is working in Bolivia. Newmont more Ecuador. And so we are woman yato quite fin. And yet double crowd. The big confident. Now, you miss a young pass and yeah, specification in my new mantra. Can you want to be? Can you want to buy a crown crackers or Yanamiansa or Kwamiansa or Bamiansa? But the African politician, the African intellectual, honor this specification, Akoba Newmont, Newmont, giant multinational, Uni Newmont, Sikawin and Dako.
Obisi or draw attention, Mr. KG Osebon should resign.
Oh, okay, yes, KG, I'm happy. Very good. Kofi Buzi time. And thank you very much. Thank you. Also, at least, I won't tell you man for come on. But that's a pa. It may be a knowledgeable. So I say now I'm pay. May you never so knowledgeable, never chilling bibia.
Yanko.
Knowledgeable, never chilling bibia. Sana ya aya mepe. Ampa, KG Osebos. But that's it. But that's a pa. So, there's a very big problem. Yeah, Sahara. South of the Sahara. Yeah, they are na yasebo mobo. Sahara, south of the Sahara. Yeah, na yasebo mobo. Yeah, be piano. Untimi nyamane nyahunka. The debate is that maybe I will never ask for military regime. No. Because Benua didn't say Burkina Faso or there, Mali or there, Niger or there. If you say Omoya Soja Frontier. No, as if it's a Soja Frontier. If you say Pebe money. So it shouldn't be the military. Because Ghana military regime from 1981 to 2000. But Ghana began civilian regime from 1969 to 72. Or there. Ghana began civilian regime from 2001 to 2008. Or there. So Ghana, so baby, and yes, a military regime or civilian regime. It depends upon the people who are running the country at a point in time. Nelson Mandela, one of the wonderful characters. One didn't call two moon fear drew no near Chile. And so Nelson Mandela being a man or your man come out. And South Africa, Nelson Mandela, when yes, Mbaki, Numbai, when South Africa was. Poto. Say na Nelson Mandela dijay. Say na Nelson Mandela dijay. Say ni nanji Azikiwe ni Awolowo dijay. Say na Nkrumah Kofi Abdul-Fabuzian dijay. Say na Hofia Boahen no dijay. Say na Secretary no ya bedijay. Say na William Thomas ya bedijay. Say na Jawara in Gambia ya dijay. Say na Julius Nyerere no dijay. Say na Serese Khama no dijay. Say na Kaunda no dijay. In Zambia, Kaunda said that book Zambia shall be free. Manus of shame. But don't teach what chair query and Yamaya Basa. Haile Selassie, Rastafari Makoni, Ethiopia. Starting no beer say Ethiopia basic. Those days, Ethiopia, who can we ask money pa your body and a man for ball or Ethiopia neck, Haile Selassie. And so I Ethiopia. And then Sudan. So what is happening in Sudan? What I say? Northern Sudan, Southern Sudan, Ebasa. So even in Egypt, NASA said no see Egypt. Bomidian Algeria no. Said no see Algeria. Habib Bourguiba in Tunisia. Said no see here no. And one that's who we are now. Debbie. Yayera. And your man call so which way Africa? Ye are gonna say. Ye are gonna be Kumana, ye couldn't find. And this are Sunday moon in Abayama. And dama, ya wakati ya wasoro, dama. But what? The reality is that we've been hugely disappointed by most of our intellectuals and politicians. Dama. And yet, dama. The Wabodo Rugo, Soro, Onia, the Sanye, what them give us a heaven or make us a heaven. But no, we need to be realistic. The Panape, I don't know what I saw her. nipa no person nya free senior high school o say nya free tertiary wasa so o so de nya hwe ko so ra obenya free tertiary and Burkina Faso a landlocked country Burkina Faso ati mama free tertiary. So you see because I can't give a chair.
Social observer also person about no be so question back me anyway.
Yeah, but I think I'll take 1 or 2 per maybe I'm sure.
Back up.
Back up. Social observer. Not him the question about. Now I am them I'm a miss. So question no matter.
Social kasa yetio. Yetio.
But I'm a tonka.
Lawyer, not the baby son is African leaders, you know. Na nipa na wo di ade na bia how long will nipa stay anasa the performance or the man ne man no because I say on kase no countries ni bidia ba man ti Libya even take Gaddafi so o transfer che bad o ma ne ko ne nipa
say me nipa men troy me nipa men troy enti ebi be skip me enti ebi a wo de become on Gaddafi also did well. But so I believe that Gaddafi could have done better. Maybe Gillis and Uncle Gaddafi bet my more, and then you see Canada or the year, and you may be with other African countries. Because as an evidence, in 1982, Kuno, 31st December 1981, Kuno, Gaddafi ne finance. So I don't know you man, see Kadeko finance coup, ewo, man, be so. So Gaddafi, but all the same, Gaddafi did well. But in the Pan-African policies, no, you're so over-ambitious. But whichever way, or your idea, will be our constructing through there, or your idea, say, sabi, kafrache, or you choose Kanabasa Kra, Kroma for us, so Behan Tobe, and here, no, so we say Gaddafi, so yeah. But the next time I'm about, you will look at whether I say, Gaddafi ne Kwame Nkrumah no CIA na plot o mo ana. The answer is no. That is my point of view. The answer is no. Me ba me kira oniama no bebre. I say wuntimu oniama na so kashire na enye. Obo anya o kashire na enye. Oniama na wuntimu. So what you say? So, and you know in terms of natural resources no, Nyankopon na ma yenya bibifo nkankan ya yo tuntumfo no. Ye wo resources na. In fact, the resources of DR Congo, and also say the resources of Brazil. The resources of DR Congo. And that Brazil, team ya aeroplane, Cotonoma, China. Brazil, ya aeroplane, no, I call Cotonoma, China. And so DR Congo, Monsieur Corre, here panicom, here panicom, and yaman, here panicom, no man, in Tiabana. Nyankopon na den na wo de o man leaders na leaders no ye hu se be yade na leaders elsewhere leave on you and no go legal you ne why Singapore ade so please ukasa woka me just say secretary 1958 to 2000 secretary we ye na yi asia na wo me yeku na yi asia the very day na be ye na yi na wo me yeku in Guinea. Because secretary, a man or any opportunity to overcome, or your man is a letters in one. Letters in one. Etina watch it, neighbors, asking them, Guinea to me. But you know, in Guinea, the resources of or iron ore in Guinea. The iron ore in Guinea, no. Say ye use any actual contract, Yanka Guinea be a near Juma. Ye use any Yaben. Nipa say na call Liechtenstein wo mo ye aduma. Liechtenstein o call nipa say na ye aduma. And so a free education from class 1 to university. Free medical care. Liechtenstein. Because you don't need nipa say mo am wa buru kire mo am wa nipa say na Ghana for say na what is call Liechtenstein akwa ye aduma. So once again no me ba be wi no. Ye bi hu abobo. Ye bi before no. Ye dia sabra ba na asase so na obi asesa no anase ye kraba no ye kra say e wan nyina gye ye kwei ye kote na what is happening Ghana, yakwane.
So our last question.
Oh, that, yeah. And then time might be them sabet. Oh, dear. Oh, the last one. Oh, yeah, no,
Mati na na we me da se bebre anu de wo cheche ya de enti asesa wo hwe a me hu ni se ye ne ma mienu na che se wo so wo mpeso jama mu enso wo hwe Lincoln you wo hwe China ona ma transfer chain nyina ne the way of Muslim country na some kind of authoritarian power be over their people and they are leading and the results are coming. And the ones who say a good leader, near man long term with deliverables you bet me deliver from African shackles here.
Yeah, but you know, 8 years there, if the leader is good at 8 years, who say, swamp. Look on you, Putin, when you 4 or 5 years, who says swamp. Now, upon 8 years, who say you're quite here. I also know woman long years, anything. Make sure I say, now I'm me free crying, I'm a Kumasi. Good Friday. Ye di bed on should I come and watch and do council. Akra Kumasi, what you cry now? Today in Yajuma, today Keteke and Yajuma. And yet, what that's all now to say. Painful be cotton as a bag in a sky tree one. Now I want to say. Today and them from Kura Jimma. Now then I'm painful cotton as I don't say, yeah, sky tree one. Is that fair? And the same pain for the question, nay, so was the backwash on them. What did he say? Train your name from Kura, a collapse. No more committee say you're going to sky tree. So it's a question of leadership. It's a question of leadership. Leaders in the Bidumia, leaders in the Bidumia, leaders in Bidumia crooks. Leaders in this will be a God fearing. They yet the Naya, then I go upon the Benina Bebu Hanamosa. I had then no do Romina Ebigu Hasa. In fact, not long ago, Abasa Angola, former president Nababaya, was the richest woman in Africa. Angola president Nababaya. Remember, say about 6-7 years ago, she was the richest woman in Africa. What to be that? What to be that? Why invade taxes? So, France, could yata bonato na nyama biso. Kano what to be that? Huh? So you asama ho. Enti mo akwa asore na emu kotegwe. Na mo nsire Nyankopon say Nyankopon dey Africa which way? Fine, yeah, fine. Why you there? Nyankopon, why you there? Should we continue to be hewers of food and fetchers of water? Oil discovery. Nigeria started. Nigeria nya oil, no O2 oil. Na Libya nya oil. Nigeria frase na O2 oil, na Libyan 2 oil. And so that Libya etimama oil ho nya mfaso. Ntokwa Libya ko nyina oil ho mfaso. Enso na Nigeria kohwe ne ekoso wo Nigeria. Kohwe ne ekoso wo Nigeria. Kwa Equatorial Guinea and Gabon. Nke so obi o bi ani so ye adwuma. Enso so sika no koda nipa ba kwa na mienu fo ba ayi e ba ba waja abun o be kontum. Akotobe kontum. Akotobe kontum. No, in Zambia, say, ensure pa generate electricity pa say. In Zambia and Tanzania, and can anyasam ketwa. In Zambia and Tanzania, can these two countries ensure ya the generate electricity? As I said. The African leader and the foreign partner be now my charges na kosoro. No we twebie go na council na nso no Tanganyika na Zambezi no nyina wo no on fa sensu no na akofa afidie bi asi baabi na o de generate electricity na enkonani we have a whole African system on hunia echo which way Many is a dama, Yawakatia was so. Yawakatia so assassin so. But how do we solve the problems? How do we get good leaders? How do we get committed leaders? Sana make us a sunny abacha my to clean. Hefapa and a bama who have fapa to San Nigeria. And so you to a loop recall Indian Yakofama 1718. My hefapa and my bama who are fetching in Nigeria. And so the African leader. Idi Amin better when my best and 9 Dada Idi Amin that man in a Sobama Biesica. Man in Obama Biesica or the man of resources. Or the man of resources. In fact, some African leaders, the helicopters, girlfriends. At the expense of the state. At the expense of the state. No. Just yeah. And we think, sir, Nkwatoya na nanoma be ton nipa nkware benko an bagim. And people like the Nelson Mandela who led a very good life. And then the legacy could have wajan or and the man could have come. Or no Japadia wa pray nyano. Or no crane the ma echo. You know, policies in should be all man. Shall Rollins by most of the policies are near my own Gigi, actually near my almost not on private individuals. At the other thing I would a painting. I dear friends, I don't think I'll get coos motus a friend. I don't think I'll just salt company no free apprentice. And yes, salt to ya or Magia loss be a nana, a crocodile. McDonald I don't think so around 70s I know be yes I saw to I don't think I saw. But I come back in who say I am from so big, not only in Ghana, in Africa. Your leaders not in Shamo. And a lot of the young ones are listening to what is happening near Koso, not near Koso. But in Africa, Babia, Kenya, forest reservoir, a forest reserve. I had in Ghana, the forest reservoir, on say, Aberwenin kind. Nani Paco Ura forest in Womatran Benfium, you don't amphim and son. Nipa more than 10,000. Bako Ura forest in Aberwenin kind. Any police penny war. Ye need national security penny war. Ye need member of parliament or demo. Nti ben who any na man for cold rubber winning can. And I'm woman cold rubber winning can be brave and non Ghanaians. Be brave and non Ghanaians. More than 2 years, no issue. Take forest abroad. Who better want to Kenya? Who better want to Cote d'Ivoire? Who better want to Kenya? Who better want to Cote d'Ivoire? Oh, Kasa is a lawyer way per Kasa. And Kasa na mepe. Are we for Africa? Are we for Ghana? Are we for humanity? That is the second part of it. And then now, I'm about the third part and the final part. About the third part. The coups, was it CIA? Those coups near CIA sponsored or not CIA sponsored? And why civilian regime coups? Why military regime coups? But no, I'm not interested in the coups. Me, I'm not interested. I want leadership, good leadership in Africa, which we. Nelson Mandela no nyɛ so abɔfo na ɔmo yɛ nipa. Ɔte aseɛ. The Libya Gaddafi si na ɔmo nyɛ so abɔfo na ɔmo yɛ nipa. The Nnamdi Azikiwe na ɔmo nyɛ so abɔfo na ɔmo yɛ nipa. The Joshua Nkomus na ɔmo nyɛ so abɔfo na ɔmo yɛ. The Badigi Sitolis na ɔmo nyɛ so abɔfo na ɔmo yɛ nipa. The Jawa in Gambia. The Seresekames. The NASA of Egypt, the Bominidian, the Yamyogos of Burkina Faso, no, the Idris of Chad, the Topman Liberia, Siaka Stevens, Sierra Leone, and then ya ekika Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, Madagascar, Madaravo Taranaki, and Madagascar. They were all doing well. So, my penitent one doesn't mean say be penitent one. Certainly, I don't know. Blacks in America, we have this NASA. It's a company responsible for the astronauts. Anytime a NASA phone be shoot to a Ibiako space, there's a Ghanaian, Professor Kulujeba, he must be in America. Ghana need to be young man, you see. I didn't think I ain't me young one, you are. Party to be young man, you see, for us, sir. But because the talents are there, the talents are there. But how to blend the talents? I am told that if you go to New Jersey and New York, the number of surgeons, Ghanaian surgeons in New York and New Jersey state, those also the number of surgeons in Ghana now. The number of Ghanaian surgeons in New York and New Jersey, two states, and also the number of Ghanaian surgeons working, operating, or carrying out business or trade in Ghana now. Not long ago, Singapore, Common Communication, Private Communication, the head of that company, North Domain Crew. Singapore. Which way? Africa. Madam was Baba.
I'm subscribe to YouTube account.
Yeah, you'll be unsubscribable.
I'm sure he's
Lawyer Nana Obiri Boahen, YouTube. Lawyer Nana Obiri Boahen, Facebook. Lawyer Nana Obiri Boahen, TikTok.
Instagram.
Lawyer Nana Obiri Boahen, TV, Instagram. X. Lubenya Lawyer Nana Obiri Boahen. And when we're not paying, me no waka. Maturity. Or the content, presentation, maturity. Very educative. Very, very educative. And I know be comment. Oh, can't party yourself now. Sometimes I'm a human being. Obi go overboard. I want to be tempted. Me calm on yourself. Please, this program, this forum, this platform, it's meant for subject fracture people among for me knowledgeable. Maybe a person. What we said means you know be a can KG a sabons Nkasampa. KG or sabons no crano, Nandipanoa or the man or the mamma. Not just Okutaba Kwasampa. And KG or sabons was Kofi time. KG or sabons was Kofi. That was when the Progress Party was in power. Maybe by Ninkuta pen, Ninkuta paper. If we meet him, a Yanko Panacha, Namena Diachami, Ninkita pen, Ninkuta paper. And so on so KG or sabons, no era baby cramming KG or sabons. Eshe. Etia, Mumma, see, and Yanni pension. Nay, sometimes, comments and a bit more honor. People should be civil with their comments. It's a serious platform. Many kind intellectuals. And Robbie, a rabbi, Rose, lawyer, Rose. A lawyer, of be Rose. She sent a message. I said, Senior, you made my day. Or a lawyer, I said, Senior, you made my day. Rose, Mechiao will be a baby so. Eba bakosama ya beka. Eba manyosama ya beka. Eba bibrema asama ya beka. So ope kura next time ope same ba no menka Celta Vigo and Barcelona 4-3 no. Eno so bitimi aka. Celta Vigo ni Barcelona 4-3 no. Edu ba bi ni Celta Vigo no lead by 3-1. And so Barcelona Lami Yamal be wura mu no tete ka no. E ma no koye 4-3. Meka ho asem actually. Opesa menka Aston Villa and Newcastle, and also meka ho asem achero. But enya ball, see, enya Africa. Nti me kwa opa da meba ben kwa ni mu mebube.
the other Mr. K. But say he later became a minister in Prof. Buzia government as well.
I think it was chieftaincy. KG Osebunsu, I think it was. I'm not so sure. But he became a minister. KG Osebunsu, yeah. I think it was Buzia time. I think he was a deputy minister. There was a problem. KG Osebunsu, I think it was. I bet you know, no Buzia, the prominent ones in the paper. Yeah. I think open said that person, me bahana in the mubem kwa for content ya chrono dear. We try to for chess with the bofra 1 or 4 out of 4. What you say? Asasa padia or the chere. What you say? Saname one men kwa chess question. And so chess matene kunasi. A baby so now person die be do you move back and as you move benko. Then we need to be civil and that was it.